So today marks 1 year of learning to code, and I thought I would show some of my first projects and compare them to some of my newer / more impressive projects that I've made recently. And so yeah, let's get into it. So for some background, I got into coding because I took a computer science class in high school, and that class taught me Java, and I just learned all the basics of Java. But I felt like the class was going pretty slow. You know, we were still on variable declarations and, you know, different math operations like 3-4 months into the class. So I thought I would give it a shot and start making my own projects. And as a result of that, I got an unhealthy addiction to programming. So my first project that I made for my own personal self here is this text adventure. And this is very sloppily done, as you would expect. I didn't even understand object-oriented programming at all. So yeah, let's go ahead and play it and see what we got. So it's a console app. And so yeah, it's this welcome to the dungeon. It's a little dungeon simulator. And so yeah, I have an HP. My enemy has an HP. I believe it's randomly generated as well. And all I do is I just attack. Or I can drink a health potion, or I can run. So I'm going to attack here, and it'll tell me you strike the zombie for 38 damage. You receive 5 in retaliation. And it'll give me a little zombie was defeated. You have 95 HP left. Zombie dropped a health potion. You now have 4 health potions. So that's pretty cool. And we can just continue fighting. We can do things like we could drink a potion and it now increases our health, which is pretty cool, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just an infinite dungeon simulator, but it's a pretty solid first project in my opinion. So the next project is actually called Text Minecraft, and this is kind of like a sequel to that first one. It's just an infinite dungeon simulator, but this one has a lot more functionality in it. So if we run it, we'll see a little welcome message here, welcome to Text Minecraft. And then we have an Enderman appeared, you have 100 health, and you have a stone sword, and you have your opponent's health here, and you can attack. It'll tell you the damage you dealt, then your remaining health, and you know, all that sort of stuff. You can just attack and then kill. And now the enemies can drop different weapons. So this Enderman dropped an iron sword. You can pick up the sword, and now when you pick up the sword, you can deal a ton of damage. So yeah, it's got some cool things like that. It's got a tiny bit of inventory management, except there's only 1 slot to your inventory, so it's not really, but you know, you get the idea. And there's cool things. You can also quit out of the program, or I guess not. Maybe we can do this. No, I guess the quit does not work. All right, so the next project is a simple inventory system that I tried to make. This is my first time ever trying to make anything like an inventory, so I remember it being very difficult to figure out at first, but it does work. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so we have a color list of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then we have what would you like to do? Select an option, add color, check inventory. I'm going to check my inventory first. Seems like we have 3 slots in our inventory. All 3 of them are empty. So I'm going to add a color, and I'm going to pick red, and then I can choose what slot to put it in, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put in slot 2, and I'm going to check my inventory, and red is in our slot 2. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's just a simple little inventory thing here. But it was kind of just teaching me data management, figuring out all these sort of things. So, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty good project. Honestly, I think that the Text Minecraft one's better though. Let's be real here. All right, so the next one is a bit unique. I actually picked up a new programming language. I picked up Python, and I was basically just teaching myself Python by making these little programs. And so this one is a task manager, or like a to-do list manager. And it's cool because it actually exports it as text files, which is my first time ever working with file IO. So yeah, it exports the actual to-do list with this cool little formatting, and then it exports the data, like the raw data for reading, I guess. So yeah, it seems like it opens up the data file and then reads it and then processes that, and then so you basically have saving and loading, which is pretty cool. Let's see, how do you even save and load? Let's just run the program and see what happens. Okay, so it prints out the task manager, and it gives us different tasks, different options. We can add a task, remove a task, change task, or export. I'm going to add a task. Let's see, code. I'm going to put it in capital. No, I'm not. I'm going to code, enter due date. Let's enter October 24th. All right, so it automatically added it into our lists. I'm going to change a task, enter task number. We have 2 Englishes, so I'm going to get rid of English 2 here. the new task, I guess we're forced to make a new task. Oh, we did do change task. So yeah, that's correct. I'm going to change this to English 3, and I'm going to change the due date to 4/16. All right, nice. Now there isn't a space there for whatever reason, but hey man, that's whatever. I can also remove a task. I'm just going to remove that task that I just made. And it automatically changes the numbering, which is pretty nice there. So now we can export it with the export button. And okay, so it should have exported, so we should see this code at the bottom here. And I can just quit with quit, and it actually quits the program. I've made a quit. I can actually exit my file, you know, without terminating it. Okay, so the file now has this code in my to-do lists, and the data file also has it there. I didn't know that such a thing as a CSV file existed in this, so I wrote it in a text file and manually parsed it, which is gross. Okay, so that's I think that's a good amount of beginner projects to show. Let's go ahead and show some of the more recent or more impressive projects that I've worked on. All right, one of the projects that taught me a ton of stuff was creating a Minecraft clone. And so I created this Minecraft clone using OpenTK, which is a binding, a C# binding for OpenGL, which is Open Graphics Library, which is just a graphics API. It just allows you to basically communicate with your GPU to draw stuff on a screen, pretty much. And so there's like very little abstraction. If you're used to something like Unity, it's a lot more work to get a simple thing on the screen. So yeah, it's just a simple little project here. And it's my Minecraft clone. It is quite slow. I think I made the world huge in this, and I forgot to shrink it. So it might take a minute here, especially with me recording. So let's see how this goes. There is no multi-threading. Okay, so here we go. We have a little world here, and it's a chunk, and it seems like I've cut off the top of the chunk generation here, but yeah, we got a little chunk going on here, and it is called, I believe it is. Let me check. Yeah, there we go. It is using a special like culling method here to basically remove all the unnecessary faces. And then I'm also using just the simple backfaced culling that comes built in with OpenGL to get rid of the extra ones. So it's pretty cool. I believe I can actually break blocks. I can break blocks here, and I can place blocks, although I do remember this being very buggy. So yeah, I think, yeah, that'll happen, but it'll get it. It just doesn't like angles other than 90 degrees, if we're being honest here. So yeah, there you go. It's pretty cool. There's actually multiple block types, I do believe. Yeah, it's a little invisible inventory. And there are a couple things like some 2D UI rendered over top of the 3D, which you would think is easy, but it is not. No, it is not as easy as it should be, in my opinion here. So yeah, there we go. And we have just a little debugging here, which this is just I'm GUI, and it can change the sky color. Alright, so this is another project that I made. This one's a little bit older actually. I think I made it around 5 months into learning how to program. It's just a game that I never really got properly far enough into. I lost motivation, but it's got some really nice features in it that I thought I would show off. As you can see in the directory here, it's getting pretty big. The project size is getting larger. And as you can see, we also have some data that we're bringing into this. It's just plain CSV files, but still, the fact that we're using outside data is pretty cool. So let me run this and see what happens. So it does actually run. We have a couple things. Let me go back to it here. Yeah, it's just like a little game here. We have a little debugging going on with this hitbox. And I think, yeah, I have a little animations with the swinging. So that's pretty cool. And this is the world. I do have double jumps. I do have wall jumps as well. Pretty cool. I don't think I have a cap on the gravity. I just saw that. Yeah, you just kind of go down, but yeah, it's a little world here. I think the hardest part about this is honestly making the pixel art, but yeah, it's just I remember there were a lot of buggy things about this, like how I could there was like ways I can just infinitely wall climb, but yeah, there's also a little bit of parallax scrolling if you're seeing this, and all of this is chunked in 2 dimensions. And so that X and the Y, so this is all using chunks. That's how I'm getting such good speed. I'm not really, honestly, but at the time I was getting really good speed for a Pygame project. This was made in Pygame. And yeah, it's because everything is chunked. Basically, if you don't know what that is, it's in Minecraft where things are loaded and unloaded. So you can basically have great performance with large worlds. Well, this isn't a large world. It is a lot slower when I turn off chunking. So this does make it significantly better, which is basically the biggest hallmark of this project. That and the, I actually think the ambience is pretty nice. All right, so this project is one of my biggest projects to date. It is, again, a Pygame application, but it is a 2D Minecraft / Terraria merged together clone. And it has a ton of features, and I wish that I wrote it better. I wish I wasn't staying up till 4 a.m. writing this, because it's great, but the code is so gross that it's impossible to work on. But yeah, it's basically just a clone here, and it's got a huge project here with a lot of different things. So let's go ahead and just run it instead of talking about it all day. Okay, we got our 2D sandbox game. We have a start screen. That's something. We can press play. We can select a world to go into. So I'm going to click on demo, I guess. And it's loading the world. And we have our world here. It has a little background. And then we have this world with these different things here. I do have the speed and gravity turned off, or not turned off, but changed a lot because I was showing off the size of the world in another video. But it is an infinitely generated, procedurally generated world where you can save and load worlds, and yeah, you can basically just explore. We have some bugs in the chunking a little bit from saving and loading, but it is pretty cool. We got animations, we got block highlighting, we have different types of tools, and these different types of tools have different strengths, and then you can break them, you can pick up blocks. Block drops are optimized for performance, so even though they are collidable, you see 0 performance drop off from breaking blocks, which is pretty nice. We have fully functional inventory, blocks place perfectly fine, all that cool stuff. And craziest thing, while it is a little bit buggy with the placement here, and I did fix it at one point. I'm not sure why this isn't fixed, but while it is a little bit buggy, the chests do work. The chest actually contains stuff, not these apparently, but there are some that contain some. Let me go over to one in the start here. Let's see. See, as you can see, they actually contain data, and this data is saved when you save the world. So it's pretty cool. We got some nice complexity going on here. Very, very complex save. Definitely not efficient, but you know, it works. So it was one of my more it's one of the ones I'm more proud of that I made, this project here. Yeah. So also I think I can exit the world. I forgot the keyword, honestly, so I'm just gonna press the X because I never made it quit. All I know is that did save because it took so long to close, and so it'll save into these huge files. We have the chunk data here, and this is just insane. This is a JSON file, and it's pretty gross how large it is. But yeah, they're pretty large. That's a demo 2. The demo 1 is larger. I don't think I'd be able to, yeah, this is kind of crazy. And then we have the chest data, which is stored individually, which is it's not the most efficient. I can already think of 10 million ways to make this more efficient, but I made this 7-8 months into it, maybe 9 months into it. So yeah. Okay, so the next project is actually my website. It's codingwithsphere.com. And this is it's just a simple website. I'm honestly like, this isn't like crazy, groundbreaking, impressive, but it's just a website. I made it using SvelteKit, and I'm hosting it on Netlify for free. It's just a simple markdown blog, which I'm using MD-Specs for to parse the markdown. And yeah, it's just a home. We have little blogs here. They're sorted on by date posted, stuff like that. And I say stuff like that a lot, but yeah, we got some nice stuff here. Got a contact here. This does take you to my email, or to an email draft, and then it does take me to my socials. On that topic, this is my GitHub, which has most of my decent projects. And don't look at the commit history. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Yeah, this is my first like proper web development project. And while I did do a ton of web development, I'm not going to show a ton of it here because it's not really impressive. It's mainly just learning stuff about web development. It's not nothing crazy. Most of the impressive things I've made are with game development. So the next one is this tile map editor, and it is very much under construction, but I'm going to just go ahead and redo the whole code base because, again, I wrote myself into a hole and it's pretty ugly to work with. But I did fix that. You'll see in a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and run this and see what we got. So this is Sphere's tile map editor, and it's actually using my own personal UI library, which this one is deprecated. And yeah, it basically has a start here, but to use it, you have to open a tile map. Tile maps are stored as folders, and then you have to open a tile set, and this is a JSON file. So if we go to tile sets, we can open up our tile set JSON file, and then we can just go to start here, and we have some cool stuff here. There is actually an auto tile feature, but I didn't create an entry point for it for whatever reason. I didn't create a way to get into it. I had it before, and I'll probably throw up a video right here of me using it. But yeah, this is, again, very much under construction. So yeah, as you can see, it just auto tiles pretty nicely. I set the grid size weirdly on my tile.json there, but it does work properly, yeah. So as you can see, we can save and load pretty easily, and then we can press escape, although I think I just broke something. Did I? Oh, I definitely did break something. Anyways, close enough. I want to give a shout out to some of my projects that are not really worth showing individually. I have my very first proper engine, my 3D engine here. I wrote it in the lightweight Java game library, which is what was used to make Minecraft. And it's decent. It's not amazing. It's not efficient, but it works. Yeah, so it's not really worth showing. It's kind of just the same as the Minecraft clone. I have a little top-down shooter here, and all it does is have line of sight detection and a little bit of enemy AI. It's not crazy, so I just wanted to kind of show it, give some light to it. The current project that I'm working on is SPG Engine, which is Sphere's Pygame engine, and it's basically like a little meta framework for Pygame, and it comes with a ton of different features that just make creating a game so much better, in my opinion. So this is what your entry point would look like if you use this. I finally cleaned up my entry points. So basically you just have a game manager, and you create a display, set the FPS, add a scene, set the active scene. You can set the title if you want. You can also set the icon, all that sort of things, and then you just start it. And that's all you have to do for your entry point. And it's pretty cool. If I run it, just go ahead and show a few of the features. I have a little demo world here. Demo world. This is me showing that sprites have layers because I'm using layered updates, and everything is pixel pure. So if I go ahead and press enter, you can see that everything is pixel pure. Let me actually expand it. You can see that there are no subpixels in the drawing. And this is on purpose by me because I want actual pixel purity in my games. This doesn't make it so you can't have subpixel calculations, but yeah, this does have this sort of thing here. It's basically you have a render target, or what I call a proxy screen, and you draw onto it, and then you just scale it up to the size of the window actually, and it will scale it properly. So yeah, that just removes annoying subpixels, which can hinder graphics a little bit and performance. So if I go ahead and import my other scene that I created here and run it, we have a cool little thing here. We have some rotating. So we have a sprite that can rotate, and this is built into my engine. So I have built-in rotation around the center, around pivots, all that sort of stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Makes things like that a lot easier. And as you can see, since it is pixel pure, you're not seeing weird distortions with pixels. Instead, the pixels remain the same size. And so that pretty much wraps up this video. It's a pretty good selection of my first projects and some of my newer, better projects. So hopefully you get a little bit of a gauge of my progress, and yeah, I don't know if you want to compare or anything like that. I coded pretty much every day since I started. Again, I actually got an addiction. I'm addicted to it. Coding is my passion. It is something I actually enjoy doing. So I do believe that I have made some pretty good progress for the time that I've been coding. And I think that is just due to my actual desire to want to code. If you're new to coding and you want to get into it, or you are into it but you're not sure how to progress, the best thing to do is just to make the things that you like, and just explore the different genres, the different things you can make with coding. Find things you like and then just pursue it. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, for example, I'm going to be getting into AI and machine learning for an actual career, but I'm not making AI, I'm not training AI models like crazy. Instead, I'm making video games, and I'm not going to be a game developer. So why is that? It's because I know that I enjoy making video games a ton. So if I can do that, I'm going to pick up skills that are going to be applicable to what I actually am going to, pursue monetarily. So I think that's a huge tip that I should give people. Coding at all is better than not coding, and so I would not be anywhere near as far as I am now if I would have just sticked with what I'm going to do in my career down the line. Better just to do what you want and have fun while you're learning. And so with that being said, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If you think I still suck, let me know in the comments. If you think these are good projects, let me know. If you have any questions, also let me know, and join my Discord. I'll be talking to everyone there, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can continue making tutorials and other type of videos. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. See ya.